I hit that.
Hey, there you are.
How come I don't see anybody?
Can you hear me now? Better? Okay. I had my bad microphone hooked up. Chris Kane, how was your weekend? Did you get hit by the storm?
No, it's pretty nice in Texas. Everyone's running around like they're gonna freeze to death, but y'all got the worst of it.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was crazy. Oklahoma City's going bonkers right now. Can't get batteries anywhere. Driving around, it looks really spooky, but it looks really beautiful at the same time. I could say that now the electricity's back on, but it was really ugly when the electricity was on. Like, I hate this. But now it's so beautiful. Chris Groupie, how are you doing? How is getting back into your routine from your trip to see your daughter?
It's pretty good. It's better.
Excellent. Are you excited for your marathon, half marathon?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. All right, Tracy, nice for you to join us, Tracy. You're going to love this one so much. I really think so. I was thinking that, like, wow, I think Tracy's going to really like this one.
Oh, thanks, Trammy. My screen just still says it's loading or waiting. I'm spiraling, so I can hear you, but I just can't see you guys.
Really? Can you can you see if you can swipe right or swipe left? Maybe that'll help.
No. Oh, that did help.
Yay.
Well, now I can see myself, but at least it's something.
If you keep swiping it'll change screens to the speaker. And then we have Jessica Gregory. Jessica, I love your vest, and we all want to congratulate you for running this week.
Thank you. I can't even believe it. And I woke up today and I can walk. What? Without pain medicine. I can't take ibuprofen. I'm allergic to it. And Motrin. No NSAIDs, just Tylenol if needed. And I'm okay. Because I'm eating better. It's because I'm eating better and moving. I can't even believe it. It feels like a dream still. Like, did I really run?
Yes, that's so amazing. We're so proud of you. She's Jessica. If you guys don't really know Jessica's background, she has a lot of health issues with her joints and things like that through the years, and she has to take a lot of medication for her pain. However, because she's been eating healthy, working out consistently, not only is she off of those medications, but she's doing things she's never been able to do for a really long time. And now she outran her daughter.
My daughter cried because she was so happy and couldn't believe it. She couldn't stop talking about it all last night. Like, you really ran, Mom. You really ran with me. Like, we sprinted. I can't even believe it. I have screws in my foot. Really? The doctor said never could be done. I'd be in a wheelchair by next year. Yeah, okay. And then my daughter's like, if you keep doing this, Mom, Savannah will never know that you were ever, sick or had disabilities, or my 3-year-old. And I'm like, you're right. I am going to keep doing this anyway. So
that's right. That's right. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Does anybody else have any wins that they want to share? What about you, Sam? If you guys haven't met Sam is an awesome person that is joining us this week. This is her first this week. What's up, Sam?
Sorry, I'm multitasking and doing dishes and stuff. So my win would just be, for me, trying to do more positive thinking instead of such negative, which is a huge stride. So a small win, but a win.
That is a huge, huge win. Do not undersell yourself, because the big goals that we get to is you always take that first step. That quote that I'm in love with is the 10,000 mile journey starts with one step. So the big goals start with just one tiny little baby steps, as everybody on this program can tell you, because they've gone a really long ways, but they took one first baby step first. Right, guys? So Absolutely. Give Sam a fist bump to welcome her. She's a legend. She first started. This is her 3rd day.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. What about, oh, and don't forget to give Jamie some kudos because she got to do her first CrossFit competition this Saturday. So everybody quickly unmute yourself and then wish Chris Groupie good luck on his half marathon and Jamie good luck on her first CrossFit competition.
Good luck. Y'all are
Good
lit.
luck.
Good luck.
You
Crush
will
it.
rock it. You'll rock it out, both of you.
I know. Okay, so what we have a really awesome topic for today. Super excited to share this stuff with you guys. Before we start though, is there any obstacles that you guys have that you guys want to talk about right now? What were your biggest struggles? Does anybody want to share so we could all troubleshoot together for this coaching opportunity? You guys are all good? You guys just ready to hop in and talk about our topic?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, give me a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen. Cool. Awesome. I'm going to start at the beginning. So welcome to our nutrition mastery call. We talked about our victories, our challenges. Again, this is our manifesto. We are legends. And this is interactive. Play full out, take some notes, answer questions, and get involved. All right, so this is about how to choose the absolute best diet for you. Rob's gonna take it off. Go for it.
So what is the best diet? Is it paleo? Is it vegan? Is it low carb? Is it intermittent fasting or something else? So I get this question all the time. I visited your website. I'm still not sure. Do you guys believe in paleo or do you believe in the standard registered dietitian stuff? Your coaching program sounds great, but if I were to sign up, would I have to cut out all my carbs? I have a friend who's vegan. She's super healthy. I'm thinking of trying it. What do you think? So we don't fall into a single diet camp. And that confuses the hell out of people since the human brain likes easy categorization. So we don't believe there's a single, absolutely, positively, without a doubt, best diet for every person to follow always and forever. Why? Because people are unique and everyone is a little bit different. So how are people different? Body type. Some clients come to us tall and thin, others come short and stocky. Dietary preferences and exclusions. Some clients come to us eating lots of meat every day. Others come eating no meat at all. Budget. Some clients come to us with an incredibly low budget. Others come with an unlimited budget. And nutrition knowledge. Some clients come to us as devout followers of a certain dietary practice. Others come with very little nutrition knowledge whatsoever. And then time. Some clients come to us with lots of free time for a health and fitness project, others with very little time to devote to health and fitness. So there's simply no way we'd be able to help all those folks make incremental improvements in their eating if we were militant about a single nutrition program. So the best coaches don't have a single nutrition philosophy. Sure, if there's a particular nutrition idea like paleo or vegetarianism that's worked for you personally, that's awesome. You should be happy you found something that's helped you reach your goals. But to suggest that because it worked for you at one point in your life under a particular set of circumstances, now everyone else should follow the same program, well, that's just silly. It's like if I have glasses on and they help me see and they work for me, are they going to work for you? Hey, you can't see here, use my glasses, right? So it's not going to work the same for everybody. And physiologically, the human body can do well under a host of different nutritional circumstances and conditions. So this is clearly demonstrated by examining the traditional diets of various tribes and ethnic groups throughout the world. So just cultural examples, the Arctic Inuit and African Maasai eat traditional diets that are very high in fat and animal products with very few vegetables. So similar to a keto type diet. Then the Ketovans in the South Pacific eat traditional diets that are low in fat, but high in vegetables and starchy carbs. And then the Tokolo near New Zealand eat traditional diets that are very high in saturated fats. Crazy differences, yet all traditional diet eaters are relatively healthy people with minimal incidences of cardiovascular disease, stroke, diabetes, inflammatory obesity, etc. So when you want to find what works best for you, you have to be a nutritional agnostic. So being open to evaluating anything and everything that could work, willing to test new methods, and even fly in the face of current beliefs or practices, and be humble enough to sometimes be wrong, even if you like being right, which I do. But you got to keep an open mind. You got to be humble. You got to be ready to learn. So if we too strongly in any particular nutritional religion, if we focus there, we fixate on food itself or your own personal way of looking at food, and you can lose focus on what's most important in your individual physiological and psychological needs. So our Legends community is like Nutritional United Nations Convention. That's how we like to kind of look at it. So some eat plant-based diets, others eat meat-based diets, some eat high carb, others eat low carb, some eat dairy-free, gluten-free, and all other potential allergen-free diets, while others eat whatever I want as long as I get enough proteins and fats and stay healthy diets, right? So there's no one perfect right way. So the common theme is that we all practice what we preach. We all take health and fitness seriously, and we all monitor the results of our dietary choices closely, adjusting where necessary. We respect each other's choices and get along just fine. We're more interested in exploring what works than we are about being right. So you're probably wondering, how can such wildly different nutritional programs all lead to positive results? Well, they're not as different as you might think. When done properly, paleo diets, plant-based diets, high carb diets, low carb diets, eating small meals frequently, eating larger meals infrequently, etc., all accomplish the following. One, they raise nutrition awareness and attention. So simply paying better attention to what you eat is a key factor in whether you'll lose fat, get lean, and improve your health. Whether your attention is trained on avoiding carbs, eating more vegetables, seeking out organic, free-range food, avoiding animal foods, or avoiding non-paleo food, it's all good. What you focus on may not matter as much as simply caring more about what you're eating in the first place, just raising your awareness of what's going on and what's going on in your body. And so focusing on food quality. Paleo and low carb advocates want you to eat more natural, free range, animal-based foods that are higher in protein, higher in fat, and are minimally processed. Vegan and high carb advocates want you to eat more natural, plant-based foods that are higher in fiber, antioxidants, and are minimally processed. So what's common here? Few nutrition camps recommend you eat more processed, chemical-laden junk food, right? So pretty much every camp recommends eating whole, minimally processed, nutrient-rich foods. And that may be one of the most important nutrition interventions of all, regardless of protein, carb, and fat breakdowns, that we're just eating real whole foods. So they help eliminate nutrient deficiencies. So the best nutritional advocates help us shift away from highly processed foods, which are often low in nutrients because they've been stripped out of all that during processing, and toward more whole, minimally processed foods, which often have their nutrients intact. And a properly designed diet of any kind eliminates some of the most common nutrient deficiencies. So water, certain vitamins and minerals, proteins, essential fatty acids. We look, feel, and perform terribly when we're deficient in important nutrients. So correcting these deficiencies, we feel much better and rejuvenated. And then 4, they help control appetite and food intake. When we're more aware of what we're eating, choosing more satisfying, higher quality foods, and eliminate nutrient deficiencies, we almost always end up eating less total food and are in a caloric deficit. So focusing on food awareness and food quality is usually enough for people to tune in their own hunger and appetite, and that means calorie control and energy balance. And then 5, they promote regular exercise. So when people start paying attention to their eating, they usually start thinking about physical activity too, because they feel better, they have more energy. So they go hand in hand. Diet camps recommend regular exercise, which is a good idea since focusing on diet alone may actually interfere with establishing a consistent exercise routine. So when a person exercises regularly with a mix of high and low intensity activity, they dramatically improve their ability to turn the food they eat into functional muscle tissue instead of extra fat. So choosing a single diet camp makes no sense because there's no such thing as one universal best diet. Most popular diets actually have a lot in common. So you should never lock into a single philosophy. If you're working with a coach that tells you you have to eat a very specific way to succeed, well, you might want to rethink that relationship. So the best diet to follow actually is the one that's best for you. So listen to us, listen to your needs, what you want to accomplish, how you live, what's really important to you. And then let us help you create the right dietary approach for you, one that's specific to your goals and your lifestyle, because that's what good coaching and sustainability really is. Diet gurus are in this game to get attention a lot of times, make a scene, get on TV. That's why they try to force people into following strict and largely unnecessary nutrition rules, demonizing some foods and deifying others. So the best coaches, on the other hand, are actually responsible for and accountable to their clients. They're paid to get results, and this totally changes the game. And that's why we don't really have a diet philosophy. Instead, we have a personal coaching process. So our process is we want to help you find the best diet for you, one that you can follow on your worst day, not just your best, one that takes into account your small but still important physical and biochemical differences, and one that takes into account your lifestyle differences. So example of lifestyle differences can be family, life demands, stress levels, work situation, income level, food availability, cooking experience and knowledge, time availability, physical capability, and so on. So there's a lot of different factors we're taking into consideration. And it also happens to be the only approach that actually works in the long run. So call to action here. How have you placed yourself in a diet camp before? What was it like? How has your view of diet camps changed through this program? And how will this knowledge benefit you moving forward to find a sustainable way to reach your goals? One I can share with you guys about me is I used to really hardcore be into keto. And I got good results from it. And I just believed it worked for me. So that was just the way. And when I started working with Dr. Kashi, who we learned this system from, and he was guiding me away from that, teaching me to look at the data, I was very resistant. I was like, oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work for me. Yeah, carbs are going to make me fat. And it turned out, that I listened and he knew what he was talking about. And so I've gone from, at the time when I first started using this system, I was eating 200 grams of fat a day. And my carbs were closer to about 150. And now my fat intake per day is actually closer to about 50, 60 grams. And I take in closer to about 400 grams of carbs a day. So, and complete different body composition. And so, yeah, there's no one right way. So it's very cool to learn this. All right. So who wants to talk about their experience here? Chris Kane, how about you?
You say Chris Kane?
Yep.
Actually, you know, I've never been in a diet camp before. I've heard a lot about them. I've wondered a lot about them. But yeah, I mean, just through experience with friends and I guess, you know, rumors, I could already tell that this approach was going to be way different because we were watching my weight check-ins every day. We were adjusting weekly based on calories. One thing I really liked whenever I first started was I think it was a meme, you know, it was something we shared on the Facebook group that was like, you know, keto, paleo, every diet fad, what do they all have in common? You eat fewer calories. So I'm on board with that, and I know that it's kept me steadily going down in weight, and it feels healthy and sustainable. So I'm excited.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you sharing that. All right. Who else wants to share? How about Jamie? You're up next.
I've dabbled in a little bit of a lot of the different diets. I've tried, oh gosh, pretty much anything. I've gone paleo. I've tried keto. To me, I'm very, I like simplicity, and that's kind of what you guys have offered. So I'm more just like, you know, staying within a certain calorie. I feel like I've been overcomplicating it up until now and just stressing myself out, trying to really adhere to a diet that maybe wasn't right for me. And so just finding like the simplicity of what you guys have helped me with, that's just monitoring my protein, watching my calorie intake, being more mindful of the types of foods that I've eaten or that I eat, is that just works best for me versus sticking to one particular diet. How will this knowledge benefit me moving forward? Because it's sustainable. It's not like I'm not excluding foods from my diet or like avoiding anything that I enjoy. I just have to do things in moderation and be mindful of what I'm doing. So it's not it's not a restriction diet. It's just being mindful. So it makes it a lot easier.
That's awesome. And you're creeping up on the 20-pound mark, right?
Yes. Huh?
So freaking cool. Almost 20 pounds down now. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. Awesome. All right. Tracy.
Hi. I've tried everything, I think. And I think that for the 10 or 12 years that I was on a diet, like cyclically always on a diet, it just ruined my metabolism. I lost muscle mass. I did a lot of all or none thinking that just, I think, created more of a problem for me than it was ever helpful. Because I would lose weight and then gain it back and then some, and then double down and lose a bunch. And so that cycle continued for years. So it took its toll on me mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically, kind of everything. So it's important for me to stay away from the diet mentality. So I love your program for that reason. And I can eat what works for me. And I'm still figuring that out, of course, but it's not in a restrictive or limiting way that I can get into trouble with. And I know that I will, because I did it for, like I said, 10 or 12 years. So I have a long history of dieting that was not good for me on a lot of levels.
Awesome. So much for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jessica.
Hey. Well, I've tried quite a few things myself. When I was thinking about this the other day. When I was younger, in my late teens, early 20s, I could like eat whatever I wanted, right? Didn't worry about it because I was like always moving, and it's like I knew the cues, when to eat, when to stop eating, and I didn't feel so guilty over it all. I didn't overthink it all the time, right? Then somehow in college, you fall off and you start eating poorly and maybe drinking and, gain weight, whatever, right? Then you're like, oh crap, right? And then you want to lose weight. So you try everything, diet pills, the whole thing, right? Weight Watchers worked, but as soon as I stopped, of course, I gained it all back. So I don't know, before I joined you guys, I was like so unsure what to eat, when to eat it, how much protein. Everything's like out there is so confusing, So I like the simplicity of this all. I was overthinking it, same thing. Like, I don't know. And I was missing things, like thinking I'm only eating a certain amount. And like, this makes you really pay attention, like how you guys have this whole system. And I love the accountability. That's what helps. Did I answer everything? I don't even know. Sorry, I'm cooking too. How was your view of a diet, Camps? Oh, never again. I don't want it to even be a diet or talk about diets. Like, I'm just eating healthier, and I don't know. And guess what? I'm running from it because it's helping, right? Eating healthier. I'm not dropping the weight so quickly, but I definitely am building muscle. I'm losing inches for sure. My husband noticed that I'm smaller and tighter, so that's cool. Yes. And moving forward, I don't know, this whole system, what you guys do, it's just incredible. It's priceless. You guys are like life coaches. You're not just, nutrition. So just everything. It's been so super beneficial in so many ways. Like, I'm a different person in a really good way. So thank you guys. I no longer am afraid of food or, or confused. It's amazing. It's freedom. That's what it really is.
That's
Thank
so
you.
freaking cool. Thank you for sharing that. Love that. Sam, I know this is only a few days in, but what's your take on this?
So I understand what balanced eating is and everything. And I had a kiddo back in December of 2017. And it was just really hard, and it still is hard to get the weight off from that. I just feel like metabolically I've changed in that. And so about a year ago, I tried intermittent fasting, and it worked very well. But had some life changes happen, and I'm just too busy and life is way too chaotic to stick to a strict schedule of eating, because life has to be flexible. And so, of course, after a while, I dropped off of it, regained the weight. So I'm just looking forward to hearing more from you guys. And I really was that Jessica who just shared?
Yep.
Yeah. Just her perspective on this is freedom. The way she thinks about food, that's very inspiring. It's because it's exhausting, being down on yourself and trying to constantly think, what do I need to do differently to lose weight or that? So I'm really looking forward mostly to the behavioral aspect of this program.
Awesome. Really glad you're here, Sam.
Thanks.
Yeah. Chris, groupie.
Well, I've never really been on a diet before, but sometimes, like before, when I was kind of overweight, I would try to fast and not eat some days, but that would just end up making me feel sick, and that's because I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I won't go back to any kind of diet camp again. With your program, I can eat what I want, and it just has to fall into the guidelines, So that helps me feel better every day, more healthier, and I haven't been sick as much as I used to. I've been feeling a lot better.
And you have lost, how much weight have you lost?
20 pounds.
And what is your body fat percentage? How much did it change?
It was at 28. Now it's at Now it's 11, I think.
Freaking shredded up now.
17% body fat loss.
17% body fat loss. And
Right.
stronger and leaner at how old?
42.
Stronger and leaner at 42 than ever in your whole life. Yeah.
I was down to like 10%, but then I went on my vacation and I'm up to 11% right now. So
You're doing freaking awesome, dude. I can't even tell you how proud I am of you.
thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to Q&A. Anyone have any questions about anything? Any questions at all? Surely somebody's got to have something.
Okay. Of course, we're super going to be busy with the holidays and like, you know, we want to stay on track, of course. I don't know if anybody knows any like tricks of the trade or something for like a busy life, because we're all going to be shopping probably. Well, some online, I guess, people. But I don't know. Just I guess the prepping part and maybe making bigger dishes. Maybe we can all just share, I don't know, things like that on the Facebook just to help each other out.
Say that again.
Yeah. So what are some of the obstacles or challenges that are coming up that you foresee being a sticky spot for you?
Well, like Halloween for sure. Let's be real. So maybe like, okay, a trick would be let's drink a protein shake before I go on the walk, right? So I get a little bit of a sweetness to it if you add banana or whatever you want. And then you're full enough so you're not like picking at your kids' candy. So that's like one example, maybe. Like just if anybody has any ideas, like when we're going to be, you know, we're going to be busier. A lot of you guys work full time, have kids, and then you're going to be shopping here and there and then wrapping gifts and all. And, you know, sometimes you're just like, don't have time to cook dinner or this or that. And maybe you didn't meal prep that week as well as you wanted to, or who knows, you know what I mean? I foresee maybe having a tough week like that. I don't know.
Absolutely. You're not alone on that. The holidays are the toughest time for most people. So you're not alone on that. So I love what you just said about identifying Halloween. Because guess what? A lot of times people are triggered by sweets. So you identified that. And then you came up with a potential solution, which was I like calling that technique in our program as adding things that are good. So that way we make less room for things that don't serve us, things that are healthier and serve us towards our goals. So adding, so instead of thinking of like, oh, I cannot have that, I should have this instead, think about what are things that I really like adding. So that way I am less likely to make a decision to choose all the Tootsie Rolls, right? So you had an amazing, a technique that you just shared with everybody. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Anybody with kids, or like even at work when there's that bowl of snacks at work, like Chris, like you were encountering something, Chris Groupie, you were encountering this before. What are some of your techniques? Because I know you're in a communal environment.
I just try to bring my own snacks, but a lot of the times I'll give in though. But I'll just add it to put it on my Fitness Pal and kind of compensate it for it and try not to overdo it.
There you go. So what Chris said is moderating. So he doesn't say, no, I can't have that. He says, okay, my body's telling me that this is something that I want. I'm going to go ahead and just log it, see where it is, and moderate and just take responsibility for my actions and just know where this takes me. So that's the technique too. Just saying, okay, well, I do want to have this Tootsie Roll. Let's go ahead and just add it in and see what it adds up. So a lot of you already have your caloric parameters and things like that. And you can sit there and say, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth the trade-off? So I love that technique too. Does anybody else have anything else? Chris Kane? What happens if there's something there that's like really tempting in your environment?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, my big trigger as a brewer is just being around tasty beer all day. One of my strategies, I'm doing it right now, is here in the happy hour, drinking sparkling water. So the ritual's fulfilled, but the calories and the alcohol aren't there.
That's awesome. So he likes to add in things that are healthier and flood out the likelihood of just drinking a lot of beer, because he makes delicious beer in a brewery and that's part of his job. I can't even imagine, you know what I mean? So that's great. I love that technique. What about you, Jamie? Is there anything? I know you have 4 kids. What are you doing, especially around Halloween? And you also have big goals too. So
Yeah, I'm not super triggered by candy. Mine's more like pizza, chips, like salty, spicy kind of stuff. But what I think Chris said a while ago is that, like, if you know that you're going to be in the environment where you're triggered by something and might want to partake, like I might pre-enter it into my Fitness Pal and see kind of where I fall, like calorically for the day, and if, like how much I can have, if I can have any, and how much I, that sort of thing. So that's typically the tactic I use as well.
love it. So she's thinking ahead, because whenever you think ahead, you think logically. Sometimes whenever you see that bowl right there and you're like, oh, this is really tasty, you want to just grab it. So we're just like, we're just starting to think ahead a little bit more, thinking into the future. Like, is this action that I'm going to take, is it going to serve me and take me closer to my big next level goal? Or if it doesn't, is the trade-off worth it? And you got to ask yourself that and take full responsibility from that. So let's say you really want to lose weight and you also want to drink a lot of beer and eat lots of Halloween candy. Is the trade-off worth it? Do you understand that? Like, if you eat that, if you make these decisions, it's going to take you a little bit further away from your goal. It won't get you there faster. So just taking ownership of that. And that's what Jamie's doing by logging it in and really like seeing what the caloric breakdown and the nutrient content of that is, right? So I love the fact that she's taking ownership, planning ahead. Anybody else have anything to share? I know that, do you have anything, Tracy or Sam, that you want to add? I know you guys are a little bit new and you guys don't necessarily have targets yet, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have insight because you're in different environments and, just through life experience. Anything you want to share? Tracy, I think you're trying to say something, but I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I unmuted. I'm still more thinking about mindset and shifting how I'm thinking about things. So as I go into the holiday season, just trying to be around people that can support me and reinforce my goals over and over with the affirmations and my gratitude, and still working on my mental game around what I'm doing so that I can make the choices and not feel guilty if I'm not eating something somebody's prepared, maybe, or I don't know that gatherings are going to be that big this year, but maybe there was times that I would partake just to be part of it, just to be all inclusive. But I think now it's more important to think about my goals and be around people that can accept that that's where I'm at. And maybe I don't even need to talk about it that much. It's just what I'm eating or not eating, and having control over what I choose to do in any given circumstance, including Thanksgiving. So, or Christmas, or whatever we're all celebrating, is just to stay true to what your bigger goal is at the time as much as possible. It's not going to be 100%, but just try to, I don't know, double down into it. Just think about it and set up the circumstances to do it as well as possible.
That's really, really good advice. That's actually another really good technique, is to be more conscious of your environment and who you surround yourself with. That will really influence you as well. So just choosing not to be around those things. I know some people can't really help that, especially if they have kids, or maybe you can, but the kids will throw a big fit, and then, that's a whole nother thing. But, like making sure that your environment is supportive of your goals. Sam, do you have anything to say or anything to add to that?
I'm probably going to echo what some people have already said, but for me, historically, what has worked well is making sure I go to a social event or gathering, having a good meal beforehand, like a well balanced meal, so I don't feel desperate and starving. And just thinking that it's just food, you know, what should be enjoyed is people's presence, and food is okay to be enjoyed, but that shouldn't be the main focus. Something I've always enjoyed doing, especially on the holidays, is actually going for a run just to kind of reflect on the day and what it means and how special it is, just and having some time to myself. I've always really appreciated that. Some other strategies are, you know, being around all that delicious food, allowing myself to have maybe like 2 tablespoons of a serving of everything, so I get to taste everything. And then another good strategy I've always liked, I thought that was really valuable, is if you've, you know, if you're at work and people, it's someone's birthday and cake is being passed around and they're trying to force it on you and peer pressure you. I read a good tip that accept the cake because they just want you to see, they want you to accept it, but then just put it down or throw it away because they don't notice if you're eating it or not.
Yeah. Sam, I love that. First off, you said that you were full before you go, and making sure you really know, like, what is the real mission of this? Is it for me to stuff my face, or is it me to enjoy time with my family? Right? Is it building those moments and taking time to actually enjoy activities that are non-food related? Because we're living in such a culture where we celebrate everything with food. My family even tells me that if I don't bring the food that they want to eat, then they won't come visit me.
Oh,
my sister said that, like, why, if you don't get that food, then, this Chris was here actually. He's like, if you don't get crab and crawfish, there's no reason for me to go to your house. Like, my sister will literally do that. Doesn't even realize she's saying it, you know, but it's just so ingrained in her character.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. It's like, well, what's the point of us getting together if we're not eating? So I totally understand that. Cool. Does that give you some tips? I know Jessica started prepping her food and stuff, but I know she's still listening. Does that give you some ideas? And we could still like talk about it and stuff, because the holidays is, don't feel discouraged if you feel intimidated by the holidays coming, because holidays happen one time and you don't practice going through the holidays very often. So just understand that the more you practice something, the better you're going to get. So people go through the holidays only one time a year. So it's very normal for you to be like, ooh, I don't know how to maneuver. But that's why you have coaches and this community to help you troubleshoot. And we're going to learn along the way. You're not going to be perfect, but we're going to figure out what works for you.
And know this, like, normally in a typical year, people coast along. There's birthdays, there's holidays.
This is a really good one.
People gain a little bit of weight. They go along, birthdays, holidays, they gain a little weight. So over the course of a year, they're gaining because of those things happening. Now you're on a path where you're steadily losing weight, losing fat. And then if a holiday happens and then we just stay the same, that's still progress, right? So even if we are not losing during that time, if we just maintain, that's still a huge win.
Most people do gain during the holidays and around different events. And the fact that you guys are maintained, that might be a really great goal too. You know what I mean?
And just being more mindful of it. Because, you know, I've had 10,000 calorie days, and that, you know, most of them were definitely not in the plan, but they happened. It's data. We record it and then we reflect on it and we see, okay, what can we do a little bit different? That game plan didn't work the way I wanted it to. So what do we need to do moving forward to have a better game plan and better strategy and get 1% better to be ready for the next time?
Awesome, guys. That's basically all we have today. Do you guys have any other questions? I'd really love that discussion and that topic that you brought to the table, Jessica. This is how we all learn and support each other, come up with ideas. Cool. You guys feel supported? You ready to finish off this week really strong?
Awesome.
Yep.
We got a really good mindset one for you guys. Like, we have so many good mindset trainings and nutrition trainings coming up. Like, we're can't even tell you how excited we are to present them to you.
Yeah,
They're
we're very
really
excited.
freaking good.
This morning I spent 20 minutes trying to make the notification or to remind you guys. Took me 20 minutes because I had no reception. I was like, this is not, it took me 20 minutes to get, I'm like, I have to tell them though, because what if nobody shows up? Because I wanted to make sure you guys were showing up. Cool, guys. We're super passionate about what we do. We love pouring into you guys. We love making these for you. If you guys want to hear anything else that you want to learn and know about in regards to any of these, anything that's on your journey, that's a bottleneck or a roadblock, let us know. We'll be on it. All right, guys. Have a happy Wednesday. You guys enjoy your time with your family at work, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Oh, don't
talk to you
forget
guys
that
later.
weekly check-ins are tomorrow. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.